Hey everyone, welcome to my Siren unboxing video. As many of you know, the iconic Aegis Artifice has a very beautiful model kit made by Kotobukiya over in Japan. What you may not know is that at the beginning of 2022, the model kit actually got a second run. So I placed an order and waited about 7 months for the order to actually ship. And then, while everyone else was getting theirs, I had to wait another 4 months to actually get mine. But it's finally here. And on top of showing you the pieces that you'll be getting inside, I'll also explain one of the most interesting parts of the model kit. At the very beginning of the instructions, there is this page that stands out quite a bit from the rest. This one is full of Japanese text with PNGs of Siren and Mui Mui. Of all characters, why the heck is he here? I don't really know, but it doesn't matter. I'm bringing this page up because this piece of paper contains what is quite possibly some of the most important information in Xenoblade lore, period. I am not joking. This random page in the instruction manual for the Siren model kit has information integral not only to Xenoblade 2's lore, but has insane connections to most of the Xeno series, more specifically Xenogears. Now, I'm going to read this page translated by the XenoMira Blog on WordPress, and it will contain extreme spoilers for Xenoblade 2. I don't know why you're watching this video if you haven't played the game, but in case you are, you've been warned. For the references to Xenogears, when I get to explaining them, I will do so in a way that allows you to understand the connection with mostly no story spoiled, so you don't need to worry about that. With that being cleared up, let's see what Mui Mui has to say.
It's Mui Mui. I, Mui Mui, am an inquisitive...
Alright, we're not doing this. It's Mui Mui. I, Mui Mui, am an inquisitive, curious Nupon versed in robotics. Sometimes I'm too curious, and I find crazy things in my possession. Just the other day, I was scammed by a salvager who told me he had gone to the very, very bottom of the Cloud Sea, the land of Moritha. What was I fooled into getting, you ask? I was fooled into getting texts written in some gibberish ease. He lured me into getting it by saying that if I could decode it, I could understand the secrets of the Aegis and make significant strides in robotics, and I just went along with it. But no one can read this gibberishese. Maybe the legendary Nupon Archsage could. In any case, I can't read it, so it means nothing to me. Meh, I should have just used this money to buy a year's worth of pollen orbs instead. Anyway, I'm releasing these texts that I spent so much on to get. If someone can read it, please share it with me. Then I'll use the secrets of the Aegis to make an artificial blade that is way bigger and better than Rosa. Siren. Siren is an artifice, a class of terminal interface weapons that was manufactured in the orbital ring found in the lower orbit of Earth. A distinctive feature that these artifices have is that they were not weapons created by humans. They were created by a collective of artificial intelligence known as the Trinity Processor, and designed as a class of weapons meant to be devices to the core, the gate. Put another way, the artifices are cells of a larger autonomous system. Because of this, the weapons that were created had been created in a way that was fundamentally different from that of a human weapon. Within the orbital ring, there's a massive academic institution known as Eidos. This massive institution was formerly confined to a small university laboratory. But at the beginning of the 21st century, a scientist from that laboratory found a certain magnetic abnormal matter in Africa. This matter, later to be known as the Gate, was at first simply an intriguing artifact that was stratigraphically out of place, being so technologically advanced. It was proven that the Gate was a perpetual motion machine that defied the laws of energy, and also that this was the source of the magnetic abnormalities being detected. In response to this, the unified government formed a research institution for further study, and because this institution required a vast amount of resources and people, Eidos was born. According to a report filed 10 years after the formation of Eidos, The gate was, as the name implied, a gate. It had the function of a door that could connect multiple universes. It is not hard to imagine. Were a meta-universe manifold to exist on the surface of the planet, there would be catastrophic consequences for Earth as a whole if an accident were to happen. During this time period, the unified government set up 3 orbital tower beanstalks on the equator. The first tower Rhadamanthus, the second tower Iacus, and the third tower Minos. And these towers were connected to the lower orbital portion to create the orbital ring. This project was set forth by Eidos, and the orbital ring was meant as a way to further study the gate far from the surface of the Earth. At this research facility, a governing artificial intelligence collective known as the Trinity Processor was raised to maintain the gate. The processor, using biocomputer elements, was raised in virtual reality to gain a personality, and this system would be used to govern the gate. The Trinity Processor would go on to expand systems to govern the gate without interference of humans. It was during this process that many of the artifices were created, out of necessity to protect the orbital ring. Rebel groups not aligned with the unified government were all demanding that the gate be handed over after all. Because of their unique origin, the artifices come with unique functions not found in man-made weapons. Artifices do not have any internal engine. They have a built-in system known as a slave generator to receive energy input from the gate to function. Artifices all have an emerald gate-shaped crystal that functions as the receiver for the slave generator. Siren has a charged particle laser that is connected directly to the slave generator, and this is what makes it able to shoot a massive laser beam. In actuality, it is more accurate to say that the slave generator charged particle beam had some additional upgrades to make it what it is on Siren. Siren was a shining blade, a beautiful and simple device meant to be wielded against those the Trinity Processor deemed a threat. There was a design philosophy to it that won't be found in anything man-made. That was quite a bit of lore, so I wouldn't blame you for missing some stuff. So I'm going to recap the lore unique to this page and add any additional information that might be helpful or interesting to you. A scientist from a small university lab discovered what's described as magnetic abnormal matter in Africa at the beginning of the 21st century. This was later renamed to the Conduit, also known as the Gate in the Japanese dub. The Conduit was a literal perpetual motion machine that completely spat in the face of the laws of energy. This is nearly identical to the Zohar's origin in Xenogears and Xenosaga. The term magnetic abnormal matter in particular comes directly from Xenogears. If you want to hear me go more in depth on the Zohar, you can check out this video that I did with Rudra explaining everything you need to know about it. Anyway, the research institution Eidos was born in order to study the Conduit, and they moved the Conduit up to the orbital ring. Eidos is actually a Greek word typically used to describe the occupation of singer. The Trinity Processor, the device used to house Pneuma, Logos, and Ontos, was created next. The processor was made up of biocomputer elements and raised in virtual reality in order to give it a personality. It kept the Conduit in check and also created the artifices like Siren to protect it. The artifices are powered by what's called a slave generator. Again, these ideas are lifted straight out of Xenogears. In that game, there is a biocomputer that creates its own beings to accomplish various tasks. The slave generator is a component inside of Gears that allows the Zohar to transmit power to them. Moving on, construction of 3 towers, also called beanstalks, began on the equator. Rhadamanthus is the one that we know of, but the second and third towers, Iacus and Minos, we never see in-game. This is actually insane. Not only are there 2 other world trees that we never see, but they're on the equator, which sorta gives us a rough idea of where Ulrist is, and where Xenoblade 2 takes place on Earth. It is kind of weird though, because all the signs in Morithus seem to be from the US. Maybe since there was a unified government on this Earth, they made English the main language worldwide? I also want to point out that when Pneuma brings up the model of the orbital ring at the end of the game, we do not see any other space elevators, so it's possible that they're gone at this point. The names of these towers are, you guessed it, Greek. Rhadamanthus and Minos, along with their brother Sarpedon, were a result of Zeus's, forceful affairs with Europa, a Phoenician princess. Minos is best known for his involvement with the story of the Minotaur, where after Poseidon makes his wife mate with a bull to create the Minotaur, he has the labyrinth constructed to hold the beast. His brother Rhadamanthus was a man of integrity. He is said to have been extremely just and righteous, writing into law certain legislation that was very popular with Greeks. Icus was a child of the nymph Aegina, resulting from another forceful interaction from Zeus. He eventually became king of the island of Aegina, which shares its name with his mother. Icus was said to have helped Poseidon and Apollo with the construction of the walls of Troy. After his portion of the wall failed to keep out a dragon, Apollo prophesied that Troy will eventually fall at the hands of his descendants, which actually comes true. 2 separate times. So why are the towers named after these 3 random guys from Greek mythology? Well, after death, all 3 of them became judges of the dead in the underworld. Rhadamanthus judged the dead coming from Asia, Icus judged the dead coming from Europe, and Minos was just kinda there to help them reach a decision if they were unsure. I guess they don't care about the dead from anywhere else in the world. I think that just about covers everything. Wow, that was a tangent. Why can't I just make a simple video for once? This was supposed to be an unboxing video. Oh, yeah, the Siren model kit. So I am actually not going to assemble Siren, unfortunately. I am not confident in my ability to do so since I've literally never done a model kit in my life, and this one looks extremely complicated. So, instead, I will direct you over to this video made by the YouTube user L-Pla. They do a much better job of putting it together than I ever would, along with fantastic filming of the process. I hope you enjoyed our journey through Xenoblade 2 lore today. Special thanks to my channel members, and super special thanks to Play, Parker Chase, and Polygloom, who are legendary Blade members. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!